Okay, so our project is to create a translation website free to use. And this website is called Now. And here is the login page of our website. Since we don't have an account yet, let's click on sign up to create an account. And here you can choose a photo, username, email, and password. Let's just use the default profile picture by not choosing a photo. And for the username, let's put in guest. Email is also guest@gmail.com. And then the password is just password. And then now we click on sign up to create an account. So this redirects you back to the login page. And let's put back the username and password we used. And click login. So this leads us to the translation website. And as you can see on the top, there is the My Profile function. You click on there. It shows you profile picture, which is default for now, and for our username and also email address. And you can also click edit account to change these information. And then there is also the setting function, which is now implemented for now due to time constraints. And in this page, when it's implemented, it's supposed to show some choices for you to change the color of this landing page and also save a few language combinations as your default. And there's also the save translation functions. It's also not implemented as users don't really think it's a core functionality and also due to limited time. So if this is implemented, the user can save a few translations they made before and revisit them back later. This can be some help if the user is trying to learn a new language. Okay, so let's go back to the actual website. And here you can make the translations. And so we currently support 6 languages from English, Chinese, French, Korean, Japanese to Spanish. And you can just click on the bar to choose. And for now, let's just stick with English and Korean for demonstration purposes. And here you can first type in your input. And we type in, hey, how are you? And then here you can also change the font of this input, change to Times New Roman or Georgia. Let's just use Arial for now. And then you can click on the translate here to translate into Korean. So it translates. And on the right side, you can also see your translation history with your original input and also the translated content. And there is also another function you can copy the translation you made by clicking here. And you can also click the delete all to clear translation history. And now we can also copy back the translation we made here, as you can see. And on the bottom of the website, there are a few other things like terms, privacy, docs, contact, manage cookies. These are just the common things a website may have. And since this is just a school project, we didn't really implement them. And the user, if they want to provide any feedback, they can click on the user feedback button here. And this will redirect you to a Google form. And as you can see, the user can fill in the form to provide whatever feedback they have to our website and help us to further improve the functionalities. Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some of the high-level details of our project. So I'll be talking about the overall structure as well as the translation integrations. So from the front end, the user interface is built using a combination of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and none of which is new in website designing. And this provides a responsive and interactive experience for the users using the website. The front end communicates with the back end through an AJAX calls, and they fetch and display data dynamically, which makes the overall responsiveness of the website very fast. For the backend, along with Python, we're using the Flask framework, which serves as the backend. The Flask was chosen mainly for its simplicity and its flexibility in handling web requests. This makes it ideal for rapid development and deployment of our website. So overall, this combination of our front-end design and back-end design makes the overall website very fast in response. For the database, as one will see next, we'll be using the SQLite for data storage due to its lightweight nature, and because it is very easy to integrate with the Python environment. It stores user information and translation history and supports essential features such as user authentication and session management. And this overall, I guess, sort of provides a very personal sort of settings for our website. For the translation functionality, the core translation feature utilizes a pre-trained language model. This was essentially used for translating English to Korean, but we also enable functionality for other types of translations. This integration is handled using API calls to language processing services, ensuring that translations are both quick and reliable, which is the essential purpose of our website. For the version control, we're using Git, and more detailedly, we use Git for version control hosted on a repository platform, which is essentially GitHub enabling effective team collaboration and code management in general. For the deployment, the project essentially run locally for demonstration purposes, but we obviously can it obviously has the potential to be deployed on a cloud platform for scalability and enhanced performance.
Okay, so let's talk about the technical details around the database that supports our website. And this is implemented with SQL. So we organize our data into 5 tables. There is the language table, which records the name of language, the language ID, and also the code of that language. There is also the users table, records our users' user ID, username, and email, and their password. And there is also a text table, which records the input from our users. They give an ID to each text, and we also record the source language of the text and also the actual content. And then based on these 3 tables, we have our translations table and translation request table. So in our translations table, we have an ID for each translation we made, and we record what is the text ID of the text that is the input to this translation, and also which language the user wants to translate to as the target language. And then there's also the actual translated content along with the user ID of the user who makes this translation request. And at the same time, we also have a translation request table. So this gives an ID to each request users made, and we record which user makes the request, and also the source language of the user input, and also which language the user wants this to translate into. And then we also record what is the original text that the user inputted. And there's also a status with each request, which starts as pending and then change to completed when we actually finish the translation. So here are some common queries we use to keep our database updated as our website processes these translations. So first, when a new user signs up, we insert a new row into our users table with their username, email, and hash password. And then when the user makes a translation request, we insert a new row into our translation request table with the user ID, their source language, target language, and the actual input, and also the status of the request. And then we insert a new row into our text table with the source language ID and also the actual content of to be translated. And then when we finish the translation, we first updated the translation request, change its status to completed. And then we insert a new row into our translations table that records the text ID, the language is translated to, and the translated content, and also user ID. So when our user want to access their translation history, we go to our translations table, and join it with our text table based on the text ID. And then we can extract the content user input to be translated, and also our actual translated content side by side, and organize them in a descending order based on this translation ID, so that the most recent translation history gets to be shown first. So there are several challenges we face while implementing this project. The first is with the sharing of knowledge. So two of our members has the expertise in web development, and one of our members has taken courses in database and NLP. So the issue is that this project requires knowledge of all these three aspects, and then potentially having the knowledge gaps could lead us to communication problems, and each of our members cannot grasp the full picture of our project. So our solution is to develop a shared doc where all members document the key aspect of their work. And we also try to have more detailed comments when we are coding, and also implemented pair programming sessions where we code together so that everyone can understand what our code is accomplishing. And this really enhanced our team cohesion and increased our efficiency, and also improved our individual competency as we all learn something new. Another challenge we face is to determine the core features of our translation website. So we brainstorm a lot of features at the beginning, but later realized there is lots of implementation difficulty and limited time to have all of them done. So we really need to balance the need to deliver a robust product along with our practical limitations. So if we spend too much time onto the less important features, this could distract us from the overall quality and the performance of our core functionalities. Those are what users really care about. So we first conducted an interview with our potential users to really know their need, and also implemented a minimum viable product that only has the really basic functionalities first. So then we can use iterative development along with the feedback of users to add more functions bit by bit. So the benefit of this is that we get to have really focused development process at the beginning, and also gradually enhance our user satisfaction during the iterative development phase. And also our website is really adaptable to new changes. Another challenge we face is that to ensure a consistent development environment. So the project needs to be set up and run successfully on all our members' laptops, so that we can have individual development time and also individual testing. So the difference in development environments across our machines can lead to some scenario where this code works on my machine, but not really works on others' machine, and because of the setup difference. And our project also have lots of dependencies, so version conflicts and the compatibility issue can also cause a problem. And our solution is to use virtual environments to maintain requirements text file that lists all the necessary packages with their versions into our project. So in the end, this really ensures the consistency across different environments. This is also true when our users try to test our website, and ensure our website can scale. And there is also potentially less exposure to bugs.